Okay, so we're going to wrap up this morning and go to lunch. And I can't think of a better way to wrap up than with Dr. Andrea Adams Miller. Talk about the woman that's everywhere at an event, and you make sure you connect with her every chance you get. Hey, Andrea, are you out there?
I'm here. I'm so glad to see you, Theresa. On a day like this, why shouldn't we be celebrating you, me, and all the women in the world, huh?
You are amazing. I see you again. I've met so many amazing people through Secret Knock, and I see you running around, usually in red. You're in red today, usually in red,
Always.
running around with your camera, and you're getting all the best shots in the world. What got you started as the red carpet connection? Where did that
Well, the
come from?
the red carpet connection, actually my friends named me that. So I own multiple businesses, and I owned an intimacy and relationship business, which I still own and do it just word of mouth. I had an international radio show for years, and I started doing all this amazing publicity, and people found out. They're like, wait, you were on 2020, you were on CNN, like, all these amazing people, you connect with them all, you're the red carpet connection. And I'm like,
Hmm.
okay. And they said, I want to hire you to help me with publicity and connecting with others. And I'm like, okay. And so the next thing we know, the business is born.
Wow. So, what for the people out there that maybe have heard the word publicist, they've heard the words, public relations, they've heard PR, all of that. What does being a publicist actually mean? What do you do?
Well, I'm not a traditional publicist by any means. I go above and beyond and do things that other people just don't do. Really, what it's become is a conglomerate of knowing a lot of people around the world. I truly care about people and who they are and where their heart and soul and mission is. And so by focusing on that, I'm able to spin this Rolodex in my head and think, oh, Theresa should be connected to that person, and that person should be connected to that person. And I mean, should in a loving way. Like, that would be a great opportunity for both of them to excel their business, their personal life, whatever it is that they want to achieve, their nonprofit. And so by doing that, I'm a person who's a go-getter. So if you want something done, I'm going to get on the phone and I'm going to call and I'm going to make things happen. Teresa, I'm literally called from all over the world. When people don't know what else to do, they call me. So, for example, I had a gentleman who is creating a new way of living on the ocean. And he called me and said, I met you 3 years ago, and I knew if anybody could help make this come true, it would be you. And
Wow.
we only had spoken briefly, and he just said, you just stuck out in my mind as I need to find her. And in the past, I had someone call me because they had a Spanish soccer player who had reached his age limit. And I know nothing about soccer, by the way. And yet they called me and said, can you help us get a team to even interview him? So I started calling soccer teams all over the world and see if I could get him an interview, just because that was his dream, to at least have a shot. So it's situations like that that people call me because I'm willing to make those calls. I'm willing to reach out. There you go.
How important is it to be connected, to get connected? People have great business ideas, they have great businesses, but other than their friends, family, and their Facebook followers, they don't reach out to anyone. How important is it to reach out, open your mouth, get connected?
Very important. So, over the last year, I started calling people on their birthdays, and they are literally shocked because when I ask them for their birthday, that's always kind of weird to begin with. Because who asks you what your birthday is on your first meeting? We talked about that, Teresa. And
Yes, we did.
and security can be awkward for people as well. And but I actually call them, and it's so funny. The other day, I called somebody, and he was like, oh my gosh, you actually called me. And I'm like, yeah. And then in between that, I just randomly call people. I'll go through my phone and be like, I haven't talked to Theresa lately. And call her and call you and see what you're doing. What are you up to? How can I help serve you in your world? And by doing that, people feel honored and loved because I'm not calling them to sell anything. I'm just calling to take to love on them.
That's amazing. So what's next for you? What's coming up next? I know you got 15 things going on, but what's the next two things that are coming up?
Always, always. Well, I'm ready to do a launch through the Red Carpet Connection and through the uh, cryptocurrency that I'm attached to. So we're going to be
Hmm.
showing people how they can live a red carpet connection, how they can be living red, how they can be connected, how they can be more. So B is BEE. And it's all about showing them a different membership and a different way of life so that they are connected to other people. Because it's not about networking is important, but it's deeper than that. Yeah, I can know about what you do in a profession, but when I really care who you are, when you really care who other people are, they really care about you, and you can make things happen bigger than you ever anticipated.
For someone out there, maybe there's a young lady or someone that's my age, that's looking for a second career, and they say, I love talking to people. I love connecting. I love knowing, little things about them so I can say happy anniversary, happy birthday, and remember them, but they don't know how to get started. What would you tell them? How do they get started in their community being a connector?
Well, part of being a connector too is you have to think about how to monetize it as well, because I spend
Hmm.
hundreds of thousands of dollars going to events and meeting people. And in the past, I would just connect them and hope that it would come around and expect that karma will someday come around for me. And then I realized, yes, sometimes it does. And sometimes people forget that you
Hmm.
connected them. And then you remind them, hey, that $1 million deal you did. And they're like, oh, thanks. Here's some coffee. And I realized that wasn't monetizing. So I realized that I need to be clear when I meet people that that's what it is, that's what we're doing, that's how we show up in the world, as we give them that opportunity to connect, and that we do like an affiliate plan together. What do they do? What do they have? And how can it be so that they can make money, we can make money, and so that people are living that life of connection, but being able to connect to each other in a really valuable way that is more than money, because your relationship capital is more than money. Yeah.
What does International Women's Day mean to you?
Well, it was interesting. I grew up as a kid, and my later years, I was doing a living history presentations for women all the way around the world who wanted to be able to showcase who they were. So I would go into schools in the month of March and act out these women in history, Judith Resnick and other, women of distinction, Eleanor Roosevelt, and pretend to be them. And I realized that these women had not always been seen. And Beatrix Potter, like, she published this article all about fungi and mushrooms, but all of her articles and information was not being carried out. She had to publish through her uncle because nobody would see her work and what she did.
Hmm.
And so I want all of us to be able to be seen and heard, men and women alike. We all deserve to be seen and heard. Hmm.
That's amazing. I want to thank you. I know you have an extremely busy schedule, and to take out the time to come and hang out with me on International Women's Day, that is awesome. You are amazing.
Well, thank you. And I encourage people to connect with me. Come to www.theredcarpetconnection.com, and I'll show you what I'm up to with this new membership using NFTs, teaching people about cryptocurrency and connection, and how we can all be responsible for ourselves to be more than what we are now and really live our worlds and rock it.
Well, I thank you so much for hanging out. We're going to take a quick break. Actually, I believe we just wrapped up the morning session. So we're about to take a lunch break for everybody out there that's watching. You guys, this stream is going to close and a new one will open up at 1 o'clock. We only been through half of the women we're talking to today, including Dr. Andrea. Dr. Andrea, you are the best. Thank you so much for hanging out.
Thank you. Keep smiling.
All righty.